Deltran Does Games has been around for 2 years covering Fire Emblem Heroes, and not once have I done a video on the original Lucina. I mean, I mentioned her once in a Lloyd video where I bash her. Lloyd is still better, don't at me. But that's really about it. And Lucina's been languishing in the 5-star pool for such a long time, and if you take a look at her Generation 1 stats and her terrible kit, it looks like she hasn't aged well. But what if I tell you she is still one of the best units in the game? Now, whether you use an OG Lucina or Marthcina, oh shoot! Spoilers! Spoilers! I am so sorry! Spoilers! Spoilers! Marthcina is Lucina. I'm sorry. Spoilers. Spoilers. Sorry. When the game first launched, you could have used her as like a bruiser, but really her stat line is more appropriate for that of a duelist. A duelist is a unit that can fight multiple rounds with the same opponent. This is an important definition because while you can go ahead and make her fulfill a couple other niche roles, really this is where she lives, and this lets you know what you can do. She can take some abuse in the duelist role, however you can't go over the top with it, otherwise you're going to suffer. So her Gen 1 stats are pretty fixable because all the Gen 1 guys get 10 dragon flowers they can use, so that's fine, who cares. I'm not even going to talk about her default kit, it just isn't good. So we're going to go and talk about what makes her an absolutely brutal killing machine. I'm going to be covering both of her main refines that she has, both the spectrum bond that she can get with her special on the normal falchion, and then if you upgrade or side grade to the sealed falchion, we'll talk about a few builds that work out well for that. And because of her flexible stat line, there's actually several builds that work out well, and I'm going to cover 2 top ones. Neither of these are distant counter builds. Distant counter is not that imaginative. It's powerful, it works, and if you have one, that's wonderful, but I'm not going to be covering distant counter. Instead, I'm going to be covering things that are directly duelist related, and the first one, my favorite, is not really that imaginative either. It's just spamming attack defense bond. Now you might be wondering why this is the best one for her, and the reason why is because that way it lets her continue to duel without any repercussions. Her high speed is already decent enough that she can go ahead and go into combats and be reasonably sure that she's not going to be doubled by mages and other things that are in away from her. Giving her guard in the B slot is very important because it prevents her from just getting ganked from these super powerful hits that could be coming her way because she's a duelist. She's just trading hits back and forth. She's not necessarily killing anything, but she's staying alive. That really only works whenever she's not dying to somebody else's Aether or Black Luna or something like that. She has a wide range of opponents that she can handle. The matchups change a little bit of if you want to go ahead and go with like attack and speed, but honestly you don't have as much flexibility and versatility or anything really whenever you switch it up. Keep it with attack and defense. This is very important. You can go up there, reposition someone away, you're going to be right next to them, and there you go. Now this is important, I just said it, but I need to re-emphasize it. So here, look at me, look at me. You have to have her next to somebody. No, I'm serious, because here's what's going to happen. If you run this build, you are going to be tanking so much stuff and fending off so many things that one day you're going to go and just put your poor Marth out there, and it's just not going to go well for you. So please, please remember to put Lucina next to somebody. So another popular build that you see with good old Marthcina here is Fury. So if you go with Fury 4 and you go with Wrath, Moonbow, yeah, she's going to deal a lot of damage. And honestly, she does, with the exception of a few corner matchups, honestly, she directionally does just as well as the last build that I did. So this is very powerful. Now it subs out Aether for Moonbow, which is important because she needs to proc that, she needs to have the damage spike. This is more suitable for shorter content where you don't have to have her go through multiple fights. Aether's going to be replenishing her and letting her continue to do her role. But this build is much more suitable to letting her buff, go out there a little bit. She still needs somebody next to her for the spectrum bond on her falchion to work, so you can't just get rid of that. However, and that's why I recommend having the attack and defense bond on this one again. Once again, it gives you that steadfastness that you need. But outside of that, this is a very popular build, and for a good reason. It works so darn well. Now let's go ahead and talk about Sealed Falchion. This is really cool. You would think you'd want to go ahead and just follow the lead on the first build and just spam Brazen skills. It's not quite right. First of all, yes, Brazen attack and speed is going to work out well if you do that. However, I'm going to recommend attack and defense again for the exact same reasons. She has a nice enough stat line that +7 defense that you're going to get from it is significant. It is going to help her out. So just go ahead and give her the Brazen Seal and go with that. Now, as far as the A slot on this one, you have your choice. You can go down the Fury route, or you can go down the Swift Sparrow route. Both of these have their advantages. Both of them have their own give and take. And the thing about it is that it depends on how you're going to use her and how to incorporate her in your teams. Once again, Swift Sparrow, just much like I said, keep on adding defense. The Swift Sparrow is here because that's going to give you consistency before you start to chew into range to be able to actually use the Brazen and your Sealed Falchion. Remember, you need to take at least 1 point of damage to be able to use Sealed Falchion. So you want to go into a fight and you want to live, but you want to go ahead and take some damage. You don't want to obliterate the opponent. If you go with Fury, sure, you're going to take that extra damage and stuff like that, but believe it or not, just that little bit of extra from Swift Sparrow's upgrade over top of Fury is going to get you so many more options to go after. It looks like once once you start going into the range for things and you're looking at this and you're like, well, no, Fury's a lot better. Well, you know what? Whenever you're in the middle of things, yeah, Fury's a lot better. But you know what? You can't just drop yourself down like 1 hit point just because. And you're close with Fury if you go attack somebody who is squishy and a mage, but then you're also not going to get Brazen. You need to be hit a little bit more. So when it comes down to it, Swift Sparrow is the safest option. However, if you have team members there, they're going to help support, help bring her back up on health maybe, or just give her the reposition or the extra turns via singing and dancing she needs, then Fury is a great option for her. There's a lot of options, and I'm not really doing a full build here because when it comes down to it, the B slot is not as crucial. It really matters upon your style and the team that she's going to be in with. She can fit into any team you want her to, and so just go ahead and grab one of these options, get on the field, and remind people that they can't see you. That was so poorly executed.